When The Lost Boys burst onto the big screen in 1987, it didn't just redefine the vampire genre, it electrified it with rock and roll energy, rebellious youth, and that unmistakable neon glow of the late 1980s. Long before vampires sparkled or brooded, they rode motorcycles through foggy boardwalks, wore leather jackets, and lived forever under the California moon. But few fans realized that this cult masterpiece almost looked completely different. The first draft of the script wasn't dark, edgy, or sexy at all. It was written as a lighthearted adventure about preteen vampires, almost like the Goonies with fangs. It was Joel Schumacher who stepped in and transformed everything. He aged the characters into wild teenagers, infused the film with punk fashion, new wave energy, and sensual danger. That creative choice turned The Lost Boys from a kid's story into a generational anthem about freedom, temptation, and eternal youth. The setting added a dose of eerie realism. Santa Cruz, California became Santa Carla, the so-called murder capital of the world. That nickname wasn't invented for the movie. It came from the town's disturbing history in the early 1970s, when a series of serial killings had left deep scars. The local government wasn't thrilled about the association, but Schumacher saw the perfect metaphor: a sunny seaside paradise hiding something dark beneath the surface. As the camera panned across the glowing carnival rides and mist-covered cliffs, the audience could feel the contrast between innocence and evil, youth and decay, a theme that pulsed through every frame. Behind the camera, creativity thrived under constraint. The film's budget was unexpectedly slashed by nearly $2 million right before production, forcing the crew to improvise. Instead of flashy effects, they relied on clever camera work, using shadows, wind, and sound to suggest the vampire's flight. The now famous shots of the vampires soaring through the clouds, those weren't filmed for The Lost Boys at all. They were borrowed from unused Top Gun footage. It was a masterstroke of resourcefulness, and it added an eerie grandeur to the night skies above Santa Carla. Then there was Kiefer Sutherland, whose portrayal of David, the leader of the vampire gang, defined cinematic cool. His bleached blonde hair, black leather coat, and piercing stare created an image so magnetic that it reshaped the look of vampires in pop culture for decades to come. Originally, Schumacher had imagined long, flowing blonde locks for Sutherland, but when it looked too theatrical, the hair was cut short, giving him that iconic punk meets Predator style. Every time David smirked or whispered, "Sleep all day, party all night, never grow old, never die," audiences felt the seductive pull of immortality. The symbolism ran deeper than many realized. The title, The Lost Boys, wasn't just catchy, it was a deliberate nod to J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan. Like the Lost Boys of Neverland, these vampires never grew up, trapped in a perpetual twilight between adolescence and adulthood. But instead of playful mischief, their refusal to age came with bloodlust, loneliness, and moral decay. It was a gothic twist on the dream of eternal youth, a dream that always comes with a price. On set, camaraderie and chemistry were just as magical as what ended up on screen. Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, who played Sam and Edgar Frog, formed a genuine friendship during production, one that lasted long beyond the movie. Their connection gave the film's humor and heart an authenticity that balanced the darker moments. The two Coreys would go on to become teen icons of the late 80s, but it all began here, in the shadowy streets of Santa Carla. The production design and soundtrack amplified the movie's rebellious spirit. Posters of the Doors, Echo and the Bunnymen, and other rock legends covered the sets, tying the film's tone to its music. Echo and the Bunnymen's haunting cover of People Are Strange played over the opening credits, instantly setting the mood, while Cry Little Sister became the film's haunting anthem, a song that still sends chills down spines today. And who could forget Tim Capello, the muscular saxophonist glistening with oil, passionately belting out "I Still Believe" on the boardwalk stage? That single scene, as over-the-top as it was, captured the wild, dreamlike pulse of the entire movie. Even the ending left fans guessing. When David is impaled on antlers, his body doesn't turn to dust like the others. That was intentional. Schumacher and the producers had planned a sequel titled The Lost Girls, with hints that David might still be alive. Though it never came to life, that choice fueled decades of fan theories and speculation, keeping the legend alive in midnight movie screenings and online forums. Financially, The Lost Boys was a surprise hit. Made for just $8.5 million, it grossed nearly 4 times that amount and went on to spawn comics, sequels, and an entire subculture of stylish vampire tales. But its true success was cultural. It gave vampires a new identity. No longer just creatures of gothic castles, they were now the bad boys of the MTV generation. Youthful, sexy, tragic, and dangerously free. Today, The Lost Boys stands as a timeless fusion of horror, comedy, and pop culture attitude. Its legacy echoes in every modern vampire story, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer to Twilight, but none have matched its perfect storm of humor, horror, and 1980s rebellion. It remains the ultimate cinematic reminder that youth may fade, but cool, once immortalized, truly never dies.